Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yesterday, Reyansh Prabhuji explained about the laws of nature. Krishna is Jagannath, Lord of the universe. He makes the laws of the universe. And Dharma is Lord's instructions. Dharma is universal to everyone and it is for everyone. If you accept the authority, you are automatically abiding by the laws naturally. Hare Krishna.
Yamaraj says in Bhagavatam, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Whatever Krishna has said is Dharma. Anything other than that is a Dharma. Simple. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Pranam. Yes, Maksha.
We learned, Prabhuji, that Prabhupada has made everything so simple, the entire spiritual process. So we must take it very seriously. In Kali Yuga, Mahaprabhu came himself to give the holy name. And the biggest advantage of Kali Yuga is we can address Krishna by his name. So taking Krishna's name can protect us from greatest of dangers. Hare
Very
Krishna.
good. Thank you. The most valuable thing in the whole of universe is the holy name. What did I say? Akim Mataji?
The most valuable thing in this universe is the holy name. And rest is invaluable.
Golokera prema dhana harina asti eko mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha. Kali is full of faults. Only one good quality. Only one good quality of Kali Yuga is kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha. Simply by chanting the name of Krishna, one is delivered from this conditioned state. Simply by Sankirtan Yajna. That's why Bhagavatam says, Yagne Sankirtane Praye Janti Sumedasa. The most intelligent people will chant the holy name. And by chanting the holy name, they'll worship Mahaprabhu. Now, if you have Govinda at home, उनको आप खालन नहीं खिलाओगे ना चलेगा, कीर्तन नहीं करोगे उनके सामने नहीं चलेगा. You can satisfy God simply by doing some Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You'll satisfy them. Asti Ekuman, only good quality is chanting of the holy name. Okay, very good. Let's start. Proceed further. Chapter 4 will start. The goal of yoga. Goal of yoga means we speak of many yoga processes. Karma yoga, Dhyan yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Bhakti yoga. But what is the ultimate goal of every yoga system? In the Bhagavad Gita, the Sanskrit word mam is frequently used. This word means unto me. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, says unto me, Krishna. We cannot interpret this in different way. When I say, bring me a glass of water, it means that I am the person in want of the glass of water. And if you supply it to me and not to others, then it is all right. When Krishna says unto me, that means Krishna. But philosophers are still interpreting. They say unto something else. Even grammatically, this is wrong. So, why there are so many interpretations or commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada writes somewhere, when Prabhupada wrote this Bhagavad Gita, as it is, Yatha Roop, there are almost 600, 700 commentaries available, but most by non-bona fide commentators. So how will they, write commentary on something as subtle as Bhagavad Gita? They'll only speculate mentally. They'll only give their individual opinion, which may not be, which may not be a fact, may not be a truth. So when Krishna says Mam, people interpret this differently. Some people say, somebody within Krishna. Somebody says Krishna is the form of Supreme influenced by Maya. So the Maya, according to Mayavad philosophy, Supreme is formless. But when Supreme is influenced by Maya, it takes a form, which is Krishna. All these living entities we see having human form, they all Narayana. When they merge with the Supreme, they also become Narayana. So this is the philosophy which is called Mayavad, very dangerous. Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always cautioned to stay away from Mayavadis. And I happened to meet one of such people in Udaipur, very exalted personality, materially very highly educated, who told me, we believe in Bhagavad Gita, but not in Krishna, very categorically. Because they think Mama means something else, some, formless. Krishna is contaminated or Maya influence form of the Supreme. So if one does not even understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, forget about he achieving the goal of yoga system. Why Prabhupada is writing this? That the Supreme with which we have to connect to yoga system is not some formless entity. He has a wonderful, beautiful, two-handed form. And Brahmaji, in the very first verse, explains this form in Brahma Stuti. After Brahma Vimolila, you can read that first verse. I think it's 10:14:1, 10:24:1. Prayers of Lord Brahma. He defines what is the form of Krishna, what is he wearing in his ears, how does his body look like, color looks like, he's wearing a moorpunk, he's carrying in his small hand some food to eat. Everything is explained by Brahmaji. So the first conclusion of this paragraph is Krishna is not formless. Krishna is having a wonderful, beautiful, very attractive form. And that is the goal of our yoga system. He is the goal of our yoga system, not some formless entity. Okay, go next. One who has developed attachment to Krishna is Krishna conscious. They say if you have attachment for your lover, you always think of her. That is lover consciousness. It is natural. It is stated that a woman who has another lover beside her husband shows herself very attentive to her household duties, but is always thinking, when shall my lover and I meet in the night? This is an example. It is possible, in spite of our false engagement, if we love somebody, to think of him always. If materially it is possible, why not spiritually? That is the whole teaching of Bhagavad Gita. So another important aspect Prabhupada explaining here. When Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they were working with that Nawab Hussain. They heard about Mahaprabhu and they used to write letters to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, please call us. We don't want to continue this material job. Please call us. We want to come to you. So many letters. Hare Krishna. Shivani Mataji. Hare Krishna. So many letters, Mahaprabhu did not respond. Then finally, after many follow-ups by Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, he wrote a letter with single verse, one verse, which meant what Prabhupada has mentioned here. And he was trying to tell them, give them some message. That verse stated like this, same. You have to behave like this lady who has a lover outside his marriage life. And every night she meets him. And during the day, she is remembering him. When will I meet him? When will I meet him? When will I meet him? And at the same time, she's fulfilling her all material responsibilities so that nobody has any doubt. She's keeping her husband happy. She's keeping her mother-in-law happy. She's keeping her children happy so they don't doubt. Means she's executing her material responsibilities flawlessly while remembering her lover. And why she's fulfilling all duties wonderfully? So that they don't become a bottleneck between her and her lover. So same analogy, Prabhupada is saying, if this is possible materially, why not in spiritual life? That you carry out all your material activities, go to school, go to college, you do all your household work, do your business, right? Flawlessly. But while remembering Krishna. Okay, let me finish my everything nicely so I can attend book reading session in the night. Nobody objects. Nobody objects. Hey, you have done your homework? Yes, Mama, I have done my homework. See, I got good marks also yesterday. Have you cooked food? Yes, I have cooked food, served everybody. Everybody very happy. And that's how yes, see, everything is spick and span, the house is clean. And he washed all the utensils. Yeah, go and see. Utensils washed and kept in the right place. So no one can find fault in our material duties. That is the way we should execute. And while remembering Krishna, while executing our spiritual duties. Sometimes people say, ye hoga ya ye hoga. Nahi, dono kar. You do both things side by side, not one at the cost of another. You cannot leave material duties. And actually, Prabhupada is going to explain now in the next couple of paragraphs about Varnashram system. Let's read that and then discuss about it. Let's read the paragraph and then we talk about it. In the Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, as a fighter, you have to fight. You cannot step away from fighting. It is your duty. Nowadays, I have practical experience that the draft board of your country, Prabhupada is telling these US children, is calling for boys to join the army, but they are not willing. They are not willing because they are not trained as Kshatriyas, warriors. They are trained as Shudras, laborers. Therefore, the caste system is very scientific. A section of people should be trained as Brahmanas, men of knowledge. Those who are intelligent enough in society should be picked up and trained in higher philosophical science. And those who are less intelligent then the Brahmana should be given military training. We require everything in society, not only military men. How can everyone be a military man? Because they are sending Sudras, honorary workers, to Vietnam. They are unnecessarily being killed. Any country which is very proud of scientific advancement and yet does not know how to organize society is a fool society. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says there are 4 divisions of society: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. That is natural. Some are inclined toward spiritual advancement. And there are the Brahmanas, and now we are training boys who are spiritually inclined, and they are unnecessarily being forced into military service. The foolish have no knowledge that some boy is being trained up in higher science. Why should he be destroyed when he is being perfected? Intellectual person. Those boys who have Brahminical qualification are being restrained in brahmacharya student life. They don't take to meat eating. They don't take part in illicit sex. They are being trained as complete brahmanas. The highest intellectuals, the most purified person in society. If there is one brahmana in the whole family, and the whole society becomes sanctified. But today they have no knowledge of how to train brahmana or how to train a kshatriya. In the other fields of action, in the work of Shudras and Vaishya, there is nice training. If anyone wants to be a businessman, there are colleges or technological schools. That's very nice, but why should everyone be dragged into technology? Just as in your body, for proper maintenance, we require the head, the arms, the belly, and the legs. All these parts of the body are required. You cannot say we do not require the head. That is nonsense. We require everything. Suppose there is a body without a head, it is a dead body. If the body is now intact, but there is no head, it is called dead body. The head is considered to be the intellectual part of the body. Similarly, if there is no Brahmana society, it is dead body. If there is no spiritual man in society, it is dead society. Therefore, Krishna says, I have created the 4 divisions of society according to the quality and work. Mataji, kahan ghumoge? If someone is working as a brahmachari, brahmana, and has acquired the quality of understanding Krishna, Supreme Lord, then why should he be called for any action, or army action? The arm of the body is a kshatriya. Of course, that is required to protect the society, to protect the country. A military arrangement should be there. No one will disapprove, but not the brahmanas. It is putting a race horse into a work cart. A race horse is required for different purposes. The other beasts of burden, asses, mules, and oxen, are required for pulling carts. Okay, very good. Very important message here. You can remove this. Here, Prabhupada is highlighting what is the purpose of this varnashram system. If one is naturally attracted to Krishna, not required. If one is pure in his consciousness, not required. Like in Satyuga, there was no varnashram system. Everybody was Satyuguna. No Tamoguna. Most of the people Brahmanas, Brahminical qualities. There was no varnashram. Varnashram system started after Treta Yuga, when Dharma started vanishing. Pillars of Dharma started vanishing. So if one is attracted to Krishna, naturally, there's no need for varnashram system, but because varnashram system is also material, not spiritual. It's based on body. Brahmana or Kshatriya, or based on 3 modes. Material qualification. But important for spiritual upliftment. How? Let's try to understand. All these different ashramas or varna are based on different modes, different gunas. So one or different swabhava, one's nature or swabhava is a manifestation of different gunas in his body, different modes. If swabhava is of Brahmana, he will not be happy doing Kshatriya work. Like here, Prabhupada saying, I am training these boys to become Brahmanas, I am pulling them to become Kshatriyas. I am training them for a higher intellectual class, pulling them to become a fighter. The Kshatriya will not enjoy doing some business, sitting in the shop and selling some Kiryana. Kshatriya will not be satisfied. Against their swabhava. So, different groups in society to be categorized based on their swabhava. Some are highly intellectual class Brahmanas. Some are fighting spirit, combination of Rajaguna and Sattva-guna Kshatriyas. Somebody is lower gunas, combination of Rajaguna and Tamoguna Vaishyas, and of Tamoguna primarily, predominantly, then it is Shudras. So different ashramas, varnas, have different modes of material nature. And Bhagavad Gita, twice it suggests at different places, in 3rd chapter, 18th chapter, that one should work according to his dharma, his varnashram, not against us. If you're Brahmana, do something which is Brahmanika. Don't try to do Kshatriya work or Vaishya work. You will not be happy. You will become weak. Right? And if you're not happy, you're not peaceful, how will you carry out spiritual life? So for one to execute spiritual life nicely, mentally he has to be peaceful. And he can be mentally peaceful if he is working according to his varna, or varnashram. If he's a Brahmana, he's acting as a Brahmana, he can execute spiritual life nicely. If he's a Kshatriya, executing his Kshatriya duties, for him spiritual life is easy. But if he Kshatriya is trying to become Vaishya, he will be always anxious. And then in that anxiety, very difficult to chant the holy name. So Varnashrama system is to uplift those people who are conditioned and have no natural attachment to Krishna. They need to be uplifted. So Varnashrama system brings them to a mental peace level, peace of their mind, and in the peace of mind, they can execute their spiritual activities nicely. If they work against their swabhava, they'll always be anxious. Very difficult to execute spiritual activities. So Varnashrama is to make them work according to their nature so that they are peaceful. And in that condition, you ask them to chant the holy name, they'll chant it very nicely. Prabhupada wanted to work on this theme but could not. He left his body before. That was his unfinished agenda, to bring Varnashrama back in society. So they are able to find out, ये बच्चे में ब्राह्मण की कमी ज्यादा है, इसको आप पुजारी की ट्रेनिंग दो, make him, a resource for deity worship. Oh, ये इसके अंदर क्षत्रिय गुण ज्यादा है, उसको temple president बना दो. You need some leaders, temple manage करने के लिए, क्षत्रिय quality. वैश्य क्वालिटी है, वो दुकान लगाते ना मंदिर के अंदर, वहां बिठाते उसको. Let him look after Govinda, है ना, बिजनेसमैन है, अच्छे से मैनेज करेगा उसको. Shudra qualities, give him maintenance work of toilets and facility block. Let him keep these things clean. Let him deal with labor. So you assign responsibility based on one's propensity, natural propensity, so that he can be spiritually elevated gradually. So Varnashrama is for gradual uplift. But if one does his Varnashrama system nicely, but doesn't worship Supreme Lord, then he will go to hellish conditions still. There's a nice verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, या एषाम पुरुषम साक्षात आत्म प्रभुवम ईश्वरम ना भजन्ति जानन्ति स्थानात् भ्रष्टा patanti adha. If one simply maintains an official position in the four varnas and ashramas but does not worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he falls down from his puffed up position into a hellish condition. Which means what? Simply executing duties of Kshatriya is not sufficient if you are not satisfying Krishna. Simply, sitting and doing some marriages as a Brahmana is not sufficient if you're not satisfying Krishna. Even as a labor class, Shudra, one has to satisfy Krishna. Some Siddhir Hari Toshnam. You belong to any Varna, any Ashrama, ultimate goal of your life is to satisfy Krishna. So if that is not happening, you may be a wonderful Brahmana, wonderful Kshatriya, army commander, Bharatiya Sena army commander, useless if you're not devotee. You may be a wonderful Kshatriya, Prime Minister of, whatever, Bharatvarsh, the most, developing country in the whole of the universe, and then he has no interest in chanting the holy name, useless. He'll fall down, go to hell. This is what this verse says. So, Varnashrama is not to be done in isolation. Varnashrama is to be done at the same time keeping Krishna in the center. Then Varnashrama is successful. Otherwise, Shamevahi Kevalam. Only hard work. Okay, so this is the purpose of Varnashrama. So every society must be categorized. नहीं तो हम क्या हर किसी को नौकरी में लगा रहे हैं. हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम क्या है? Most people do not become entrepreneurs. They just try to become a नौकर. MNC में 10 लाख, 20 लाख, 30 लाख का पैकेज. अरे भैया तुम फिर भी शूद्र हो. जिनमें है 1 करोड़ का पैकेज, यू आर शूद्रा. शूद्रा मतलब नौकर. अपना काम करता है मतलब वैश्य. Kshatriya protection of society means Kshatriya. You are guiding the society like a head, brain in the body, then you are a Brahman. So we need all types of people in our society based on their nature, so that society remains peaceful and can focus on cultivating Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. That is the purpose of Varnashrama. It is not a caste system. Hey, Shudra, Chuna nahi hai uska. That is not the purpose of Varnashrama. People have misunderstood. Brahmana, ऐसे छाती चूड़ी का चलता है. I am Brahmana. Useless Brahmana. If you don't chant the holy name. Brahmana actually means who has realized only Brahman Jyoti, not Krishna. That's why you Vaishnava, who is above Brahmana on a transcendental platform, means he has understood Bhagavan. Brahmana only Brahma realization, partial realization. Okay, so one may belong to any Varnashram system. That is not a disqualification. You may be a Shudra, doesn't matter. Just chant the holy name. That's it. Just chant the. Some just try to satisfy Krishna. You don't have to spend lakhs of money because you are a Shudra. You may get only 100, 200 rupees a day, 400 rupees a day. कुछ नहीं, पत्रम पुष्पम फलम तोयम, पत्ता दे दो, पानी दे दो, will be satisfied. Satisfying Krishna is not a big deal, very simple. But you need mansikta, you need the right consciousness to serve Krishna. Okay? So Varnashrama system, material, categories, but important for spiritual development. Hare Krishna, Shri Prabhupada, Jai. ये सभी की जो खिड़कियां बंद हैं, जरा खोलो 2 मिनट के लिए, अभी तो खत्म होने वाला. Let me at least see everybody. You can stop